the others, so let's just delay this vote. But I don't see what changes in the dynamics in the next couple of weeks, because you have the progressives just as dug in and the moderates still willing to walk away.
And Kevin McCarthy gets to lean back.
Well, look, it doesn't matter. When, I had a political science professor in college who told me when your adversary is in the midst of committing suicide, there's no reason to commit murder. The result is the same. And that's what's happening with Democrats right now. It's the death of 2020 Joe Biden. When he went to the Hill, 2020 Joe Biden is now officially dead and buried. The guy who ran against the progressives, ran against Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, ran to be a uniter in this country, ran saying he was going to force compromise. And he went up to Capitol Hill and he capitulated to the progressives, the liberals in his party. And why should we be surprised? He couldn't stand up to the Taliban. How could we expect him to stand up to AOC?
Okay, so look, Donna, that's a partisan take, to be sure.
No, let me ask you a question. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Did he stand up to the Taliban? Why is that partisan?
He wasn't.
He hasn't stood up to anyone except for the people in his own party who nominated him.
Donald Trump invited
Bernie Sanders didn't vote for him.
Donald Trump was inviting the Taliban to Camp David.
I know. By the way, Donald Trump. By the way, Donald Trump. In case you didn't know, Donald Trump's. By the way, Donald Trump's not in the White House anymore, and Joe Biden is kind of in the White House.
Joe Biden has created more jobs in the first couple of months of his presidency than any other president.
And more inflation. Thank you.
That inflation was already coming down the pipe.
But
Donald,
and look, this notion, and look, I'm sorry that you have to cover this, Rachel and Rick. Okay,
they're okay.
I've been in a room with Democrats all my life. And I still look good, okay? Yes, you sometimes bleed in the middle of a fight, but when you're fighting for principles, these are principles, bedrock principles that Democrats believe, that we help people, that we take them out of harm's way, that we provide them with education and jobs. This is why we're
these
Democrats.
Bedrock principles lost in the Democratic primary. But Bernie Sanders was just arguing, and Elizabeth Warren lost in the Democratic primary. Joe Biden said they were extreme.
Not really. Not really.
No. Joe Biden said Bernie Sanders was extreme.
Well, Bernie Sanders was fighting on Medicare for all. That's not part of this. There's a whole. But let me ask you.
We're going to lower the prescription drugs prices, medicine,
to the larger
and
point,
that's bad.
To the larger point, though, why wouldn't Biden want to take the victory?
1.5, because they promised. You're right. They promised the moderates.
That's a lot of money, by the way. 1.5 plus 1.5
plus 1.9 in January.
And you want me to count up all of the 1.9 trillion tax cuts?
And guess what? Those taxes, by the way, it doesn't even count.
I would need a pamper to deal with that.
I understand that you want the American people to give their money rather than keep it themselves. I get that. That's fine. You can spend it better.
You know how much money we spend every day in Afghanistan and got nothing to show for it. So let's stop talking. Let's stop talking about how much it costs and how many lives we're going to save, how many people we're going to educate, and how many seniors will have the comfort of knowing that they can take their medicine.
If you get it passed. Now let me.